Hello and welcome, baseball fans, to Birmingham Groves High School. Brad Fetters alongside BACB sports analyst Nick Buckler as we get set for the third game of the season series between the Groves Falcons and the Seaholm Maples. And Nick, you weren't able to call game 1 and 2 of this series, the doubleheader, but Seaholm came away victors in both and erased a lot of bad memories as they ended that 13-game winning streak that belonged to the Groves Falcons.
Yeah, they certainly did, and that's definitely a monkey off the back, so to speak, for them. And I'm sure they're going to try to ride it high here into Game 3 and look for the season sweep over their arch rival.
The Maples come in with a record of 7-2. The Groves Falcons coming in with a record of 6-6. They're playing .500 baseball, and really, this isn't something that Coach Morrison is accustomed to here at Birmingham Groves.
No, definitely not. It's, I guess you could say, a disappointing start. He's definitely looking to turn the page here today and at least try to take 1 of 3 and avoid the season sweep, like I mentioned.
Big moment in game number 1 was a big 7th inning that saw the Maples come from behind and capture game 1 4-3, and then they took game 2 in convincing fashion, a 10-0 Mercy victory. So we'll take a quick break here on BACB Sports, but when we come back, starting lineups and opening pitch. Welcome back to Birmingham Groves. Nearly set to go in this game 3 of the season series between our two rival schools, the Seaholm Maples and the Birmingham Groves Falcons. Let's quickly meet tonight's starters. First, the batting lineup for the Seaholm Maples.
Seaholm brings in a 7-2 record, leading off and catching Lucas Simmons. Gray Kinney's batting second, and he's your designated hitter. Max Shoemaker batting third, playing center field. Alex Owencia playing right field, and he will be hitting cleanup. Alex Maxwell is fifth and playing first base. Paul DeRocher, shortstop, batting 6th, batting 7. Johnny Vecchio, he'll be patrolling left field. Liam Goff batting 8th and playing the hot corner, third base. And batting 9th, your second baseman, Jimmy Love. On the mound for Groves, Ethan Gilman, he is their ace. Wasn't able to go in the doubleheader, as you mentioned. He's pitched 18 2/3 innings. He brings in a 1-2 win-loss record, 1.13 ERA. That's pretty darn good. 16 strikeouts as opposed to 8 walks. And this will be his third start of the season. He's got 3 earned runs only in 18 2/3 innings. So a tough matchup for the Maples for sure.
Harrison Cole will be behind the plate, and the rest of the Groves defense lines up this way.
The outfield, Trey Lipsy will be in center. Right field, Roger Motley out in left. Caleb McKeever. And your infield from left to right, James Berry will be at third base. The shortstop, Eric Joe. Second baseman, Alex Nader. And over at first, Sam Scheinbaum. And we are just about underway here, getting ready to get set for that opening pitch of Game 3 of this season series.
Lucas Simmons will take his spot as the leadoff hitter, catching today for the Maples. And you pointed out prior to the start of this game that both catchers are going to be leading things off for their respective teams.
Yeah, definitely unusual.
So Ethan Gilman comes home with the pitch, misses up and away. So we are underway here under what has turned out to be a little bit of an overcast sky. It was plenty of sunshine earlier on in the day. Shouldn't have any sort of rain or wind to contend with today. It's a pretty nice day here in Beverly Hills as Gilman pumps in a strike, evens up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, people come here and see this weather. You might be mistaken, think you're in Beverly Hills, California. It's a beautiful 64 degrees. A little humidity as we see Lucas Simmons chase one in the dirt to bring up a 1-2 count.
Gilman going off speed there in the dirt. Lucas Simmons coming up empty, 316 hitter coming into the season series against Groves.
Gilman, good to see him back on the mound where he belongs. He is really crafty lefty as we see a ball in play to right field.
Motley going to his left. plenty of room out there. So 1 up, 1 down for the Seaholm offense.
We'll see Gray Kinney, one of their best hitters, 348 coming in to the season series. Lefty on lefty matchup here.
And Gray Kinney going to be DHing once again today. DH'd in both games of the doubleheader, is wearing that knee brace. Quarterback of the Seaholm football team. There's a pop-up straight up. And Gilman will defer to his first baseman, Scheinbaum, who camps under it and makes a catch. So 2 up, 2 down. Good start so far for Ethan Gilman.
Yeah, he's getting working the lower areas of the strike zone, as we saw Simmons chase one before he essentially flew out to medium depth and right, and then we saw Kinney swing at that first pitch and pop it up. And one thing I'd like to point out too is that should have been a pitcher's ball, but as you'll see, most teams, they do not like when their pitcher plays the ball, especially on a pop-up. They'd rather him just get out of the way, don't want to hurt your ace especially. So the first baseman called him off and made the put out, as we see a strike here on Max Shoemaker.
Getting the start out in center field today, pitched in game 2 of the doubleheader, and he was our player of the game. He went 5 innings, a complete game, only gave up 4 hits, 2 walks, 0 runs, and those 6 Ks, but more importantly, had a terrific day at the plate in the doubleheader, finishing 4 for 6. All 4 hits were singles, but really the catalyst right in the middle of this Maple offense.
Yeah, you generally put your best all-around hitter at third. He can have a little bit of pop in his bat, not going to strike out too much, and really bring some consistency to that 3 spot, and he's going to battle here with 2 strikes.
Talking to Coach Toth, I mentioned to him that this Maple offense only had 1 extra base hit for the entire doubleheader, and he said, yeah, listen, that's exactly the type of team we are. We're going to play a lot of small ball. We're going to sacrifice guys over. We're just going to find ways to win. We're not going to hit the ball out of the yard, and that was the case in both games of that doubleheader. Is here right on cue is a laser off the left field wall, 298 down the line, and Shoemaker will cruise in with a double.
Yeah, a really good piece of hitting there. He worked it into a more favorable count after finding himself down in a quick 0-2 hole. Sees a couple pitches, one in the dirt and then one high. He wasn't chasing, so he knows he's going to get a good pitch there on 2-2 from Gilman, and Gilman just grooved a fastball right down the middle. And Shoemaker, as our good friend Jim Price would say, put the buggy whip on that one. He sent that one about 3/4 of the way up the wall in left field and trotted in with an easy double.
So Encia now, the right fielder, an opportunity to cash in with that first run for the Maples.
It's like he missed a hair outside, but this meat of the order here, really, all of these guys' averages start with a 3 or a 4, and that includes Alex Owencia, 348 entering the season series, and a slugging right fielder, that's for sure.
Maples got it out in front in both games of that doubleheader, and this is a Groves team that's not accustomed to coming from behind. They're usually front runners. We mentioned in those first 2 games that they have a tendency to get out in front. Over 3/4 of their innings played this season, they've had a lead. I think they were a little surprised, not only with Seaholm coming back in that game 1, but they really got shell-shocked in that game 2 that saw the Mercy 10-0 victory.
Definitely not sure how to react in that type of game. As we mentioned before, that all their losses before that were 1 or 2 run games, and then all of a sudden just mollywopped. And now Owencia's got himself in a really good hitters count, 3-1 with a runner in scoring position. It wouldn't be a bad thing if Gilman just kind of threw this one out of the zone and put him on to get a force at any base here, but we'll see how he wants to attack this at 3-1.
And base open, you might just put him on.
Oh, he went right after him in a good, healthy cut there right down the middle. Just missed that one by a hair.
Yeah, prior to that 10-0 loss, their largest deficit of the season was a 2-run loss to Country Day and to Utica. So tight ball games all season long. We'll see if the Falcons can shake that doubleheader loss off here today.
Utica's really turned their program around over there in the MAC. So a good crossover game as we see a pop-up.
Left fielder McKeever camps under it, makes the catch. So the Maples threaten but do not score. After a half inning of play, we remain scoreless.
Selfie nailed it.
Falcons coming to bat now in the bottom of the first inning. Here's Nick Buckler with their starting lineup.
Like we mentioned, Brad, the catcher will lead off for both teams, and the Groves catcher, Harrison Cole, leading off. Batting second, patrolling center field, Trey Lipsy at shortstop, batting third, Eric Joe. Roger Motley, the right fielder, in the cleanup spot. Sam Scheinbaum at first base, batting fifth. Lawrence Bryson, your DH, batting sixth. Caleb McKeever, like we mentioned, he made that last out of the inning out in left field, batting seventh, batting eighth. James Berry at third base, batting ninth. Alex Nader, he'll be playing second base, and they will face the left-handed offerings of Scotty Clippert, who's pitched 4 innings. He won his only start, so this will be his second start. He's given up 2 earned runs in those 4 innings, 2 strikeouts, 3 walks, so he definitely wants to find more of the strike zone here today. And we will see he's a crafty lefty just like Gilman is. And the rest of that defense, outfield from left to right, Johnny Vecchio in left. We got Max Shoemaker patrolling center field, right field Alex Owencia. And your infielders, third base Liam Goff, shortstop Paul DeRocher, second base Jimmy Love. And your first baseman Alex Maxwell, and catching the left-handed offerings of Scotty Clipper will be Lucas Simmons back there. So he's got a good arm as we see him throw it down for the last pitch before Groves comes to bat here in the bottom of the first in a scoreless game.
Both of these teams played really well defensively. This is a good infield for Coach Toth here at Seaholm, especially at shortstop Paul DeRocher. It's a vacuum cleaner in that hole over there. And Harrison Cole will lead things off for the Falcons, following the line by Lipsy and Joe. Harrison Cole hit the ball hard, really didn't have much to show for it in the doubleheader as he ended up finishing 1 for 7, and that's kind of been the story of his season. He's hit the ball, but he's hit it right at guys. So I'd like to get him going, especially in that leadoff position.
Yeah, like you mentioned, well, not really. I've been watching a lot of Tigers baseball, and they mention a lot of guys hitting the ball really hard. They mentioned it for years, but right at guys. So you can argue and say, okay, he leaves after making a hard out like it was a productive at bat. But as a player, that's hard to feel when you're hitting ropes right at guys and you're not getting on base. Sure, it's a good at bat, but what does it look like on the score sheet? It looks like you went 0 for 4, and it doesn't matter. They don't ask how, they just ask how many. So it would love to have him start finding holes in the field there and getting on base at the leadoff position, or they might move him down in the lineup just to get him right.
Scotty Clippert missing on the first 2 pitches. Harrison Cole squares around once again. This time, Clippert finds a strike zone. 2 balls, 1 strike. On the leadoff hitter, Harrison Cole.
A lot of times when a guy squares in a hitter's friendly count, you know he's taking right away. He's just trying to distract the pitcher in any way he can. A lot of times in 3-0 or 2-0 counts when you're not swinging, the coach will instruct you to do a fake bunt, and that tends to throw the pitcher off sometimes where there's more movement. He might miss the strike zone there as we see a pop-up foul back our way onto the JV diamond.
Scotty Clippert really bringing the heat. High-velocity guy. Coaching staff telling me he throws anywhere from 78 to 82. Also has a pretty good breaking ball to keep batters off balance.
That breaking ball is really off speed, too. I watched him throw it in warm-ups.
So Harrison Cole working the base on balls, and really, if you're a fan of the Falcons, you know that's kind of what Coach Morrison preaches, guys getting on base via the walk. He doesn't care how you get on as long as you get on, and they have a tendency to steal a lot of bases. They're very aggressive on the base paths.
Yeah, that's why we're going to see a courtesy runner for the catcher here. They'll do that for pitchers and catchers here at this level.
It'll be Eli Turner. Saw some action in the doubleheader in relief roles. Pitched in both games of the doubleheader, if my memory serves me correct. That one skips in. Turner going to stay down at first.
Really good block there by Lucas Simmons to keep Turner at first. He could have, if he read that a little bit sooner off the bounce, he might have been able to take off and scamper down into scoring position.
Brings up Trey Lipsy, 1 for 7 in the doubleheader. So neither guy at the top of this order able to get much going offensively for the Falcons.
So we see a throw over by Clippert there. That wasn't a pickoff move, more so just a stay in Turner's head there and know that he's thinking about him and he knows that he's there.
Keeping him honest over at first base. Turner fakes, big secondary lead off of first. Lipsy takes a called strike.
Very hard to steal off left-handed pitchers, almost a guessing game, as you have to go off their first motion, and if that motion is coming over to first, well, get yourself in a rundown and hope that they throw that away, but very tough.
Clippard holding that ball a little bit longer, right at belt level.
And a lot of times you'll see the pitcher in the stretch kind of sit down and wait and mix up his set times there to try to keep the base runner honest a little bit.
Folds that glove on the front hip, comes to the belt once again, and has picked Turner off. Got him in a rundown. See if the Maples can complete this pickle play, and Turner avoids the tag and now steps out of the baseline.
Yep, there he looked like he guessed on that first motion. A very good move there by Scotty Clippard as he just moves that front foot, and as a lefty, that's his right foot. And right when he lifts that leg, you saw Turner take off, and he didn't make a motion towards home. All he did was lift that leg, and then he threw over to first, and at that point, you pretty much got him if you execute the pickle properly. And that's something that all teams really work on every day of practice because it happens so much at this level.
So now the Seaholm defense can shift on Lipsy, playing him to pull on the infield. 3 infielders on the right side of second base, and Coach Toth will apply these shifts quite often throughout the games.
Big analytics matchup here. Both coaches are into the stats, and a base hit drops into left field.
Lipsy stings one. Left fielder Vecchio took a couple steps back before readjusting and coming in, and it caused that ball to drop in front of him. So the first hit of the ball game for the Maples belongs to Trey Lipsy. And we'll bring up Eric Joe, the slick fielding shortstop for the Falcons. 1 for 4 in the doubleheader. Was also intentionally walked. That's how much respect the Maples have for Joe. Joe will be playing next season at Air Force in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Always good to see these guys playing at the next level in any aspect.
Rests that bat on the back shoulder. Big stride with the front foot. Takes a look at a ball. 1 strike. 1 down here in the bottom of the first inning. Roger Motley, the cleanup hitter, waiting in the on-deck circle, and that's another guy that Coach Morrison needs to get going. Roger Motley 0 for 4 in the doubleheader. We saw Roger Motley hit a bomb last season. Good power stroke from that left-hand side.
I heard about that one. Rumor is it's still flying.
Sure is. Believe it or not, this is probably one of the few parks in the league that has shorter dimensions down the left field line. 298 down left field. Clippard throws back over to first.
I believe it's 306 down the right field line, if my eyes serve me right here.
That's kind of where we're positioned along the first base line, directly between first base and home plate.
I may have gotten some help from Coach there. He could tell you were looking for it, and he tossed us that bone. Said 306. So thanks to Coach there for helping out the broadcast here. Because let's be honest, my eyes cannot see that from.
Kind of blocked out by some of the signage here. Good hitters count on Eric Joe. 3 balls, 1 strike. Another head-first slide by Trey Lipsy. Maples have really limited the Falcons' running game in this series. A lot of pickoffs, caught stealings. The Falcons have run themselves out of a lot of outs. So the first 3 base runners for Groves reach. Second via the walk. And just like that, Groves is in business with runners at first and second for the dangerous right fielder, Roger Motley.
Lucas Simmons going to come out and try to calm down the pitcher here. And we're going to see Paul DeRocher come over. Going to join in on the fun there on the mound, try to calm him down, tell him throw some strikes. You got a good field behind you here and let us do our thing. Plays at any bag on the infield, but I want to talk about that last pitch there by Clippard, is he had thrown over on the prior 2 pitches, and then when he lifted his leg to deliver the essential ball 4, base runner Lipsy ended up actually going back towards first base. He was thrown off. He was on his toes, and he was not about to get picked off on that. So early on, they're already having a hard time reading the pickoff move of Scotty Clippard, which is a good thing for the Seaholm Maples.
Motley takes that off-speed pitch high for ball 1. Not holding Eric Joe on, so he's able to get a really big lead and an even bigger secondary lead. See if he can go first to third, perhaps, on a base hit.
Yeah, very important there is they must not feel him as a big threat, or they're more focused on trying to get that out at anywhere on the infield rather than keeping him close.
Middle of the infield in double play depth. Corner infielders guarding the lines. Fastball swung through and missed by Roger Motley. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Motley batting .286 prior to the start of the series. 5 RBI, a couple extra base hits. 6 total hits, asks for time, is granted it late.
You know, he wants to get that first big fly under his belt, and no better time than right now against the rival. Lefty on lefty matchup, try to pull it down the line. 307, 1 foot over that wall, and trot 3 runs would be a nice thing for him.
Both of these coaching staff so fortunate to have so many lefties in their rotation. There's an off-speed pitch hammered to the shortstop. DeRocher is going to get the lead out at third base. Goff comes up firing, unable to complete the double play, so it'll be a fielder's choice. Probably weren't going to be able to turn 2 no matter what with the speedy Roger Motley coming down the first baseline. So DeRocher took the easy out and got the force of the lead runner at third base.
Yeah, smart play. If I was Goff, though, I probably would have held that ball, because we see at the high school level a lot of balls being thrown around, and that's just free bases. Luckily, though, first baseman Alex Maxwell came off the bag smartly, knowing that there wasn't a chance to get Motley at first base, and just came off the bag, kept that ball, and was able to keep the runners put at first and second to keep that force alive. And now 2 outs.
Sam Scheinbaum was the hitting hero for Groves in the doubleheader. He led the team with 3 base hits and a couple RBIs, so he's their big run producer in that 5-hole. Looking to cash in here with a runner in scoring position. Both teams now have put runners in scoring position. Maple's unable to cash in. They got a pickoff play down at second base. Close play there as DeRocher snuck in behind Eric Joe and nearly picked him off.
Yeah, Joe didn't see him till the last minute, right when Clippard turned around to throw, in a very close play, especially for not sliding there, Eric Joe. And DeRocher applied a quick tag to the leg, but no avail. They throw it this way and the other way, as Joe was looking at DeRocher. And it was Jimmy Love who snuck in from the second base position, but Joe didn't have that big of a lead, so now we're just getting in his head, trying to keep that secondary lead short so he can't score on a base hit.
A little trickeration. Scheinbaum waits out that pitch, fouls one straight back into the backstop. I get the sense that this is a big moment here. We're just in the first inning as Groves with that runner down at second base. 3 base runners in total here in this first inning, and now we get another timeout.
Yeah, Clippard taking a lot of time here, making sure these hitters are off balance. He's getting his signs from Simmons and making sure he is in control right now. This is a big time here with 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 men on, runners go.
Joe takes off, swung through by Scheinbaum, and it does not matter as he goes down via the strikeout. So we've played 1. Both teams threaten but do not score. We remain scoreless heading into the top of the second inning right here on BACB Sports.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul.
Top of the second inning here from Groves High School. Scoreless after one inning of play. Alex Maxwell, the first baseman for the Maples, is going to lead things off. And he'll be followed in the order by Paul DeRocher and Johnny Vecchio.
Yep. 5, 6, 7 of the order. 273, 421, 333 averages. So definitely not an easy stretch here for Ethan Gilman as he brings aboard a ball just a smidge high there on the first pitch to Andy Maxwell, or Alex Maxwell, rather.
So both starting pitchers able to wiggle out of some early trouble. Neither team able to cash in the first inning. Both put runners down at second base, but unable to score.
On that last pitch of the bottom of the first inning, I like the aggressive move to put the runners in motion. So if there is a batted ball, you kind of give them a head start, so to speak, to guarantee that that runner from second is going to score on a base hit. And obviously, if the batter strikes out, as he did, it doesn't hurt you in that situation. So I really like the base running calls thus far here from both teams.
Gilman comes home with that 2-1 pitch, laced down the right field line, fouled. So it evens up the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
See what Gilman brings here. He's thrown a lot of fastballs early on, so might see maybe a breaking pitch down and away with a lefty-on-lefty matchup here. That's exactly what he did, just missed. He burned one and fill it up now.
Tried to get Maxwell to chase. Purpose pitch there on 2-2.
3-2 here, you know, he's going to be expecting a fastball, maybe pull the string, a little change piece, wouldn't hurt anybody. He's going to go high heater, though.
Right at Motley. And it does the splits out there in right field. So some hard contact off the Maples bats, but nothing so far to show for it.
No, definitely not. Even the hits last inning, a deep fly ball off the wall, but some, like you mentioned, hard hit balls to the outfield. So it's just a matter of putting them in the right spots. But hey, that's good coaching there by Groves, having defenders in the right spots, studying your opponent. So definitely a good thing. Another lefty-on-lefty matchup here as Paul DeRocher digs in.
And lots of lefties in this Maple order. Cursing and a blessing sometimes. DeRocher leans out of one. He had a hot bat in the doubleheader. Drove in a couple of runs, 2 for 5 with 1 extra base hit, a double. It was the only Maple extra base hit of the doubleheader.
Just missed a smidge there outside. But to no avail.
As that back elbow bent. Gilman comes home with it, misses. The first walk issued by Ethan Gilman puts a runner at first base for Johnny Vecchio. The hero of game 1 of the doubleheader drove in the game-winning run with a seeing eye single straight up the middle. Is our BACB Sports Player of the Game. That was his only hit of the doubleheader, and they don't get much bigger than that.
No, definitely picked the right time for that hit, and we'll see if he can deliver another one here early on. Got around on that fastball, timed it up a little bit too soon. So we'll see if that affects this at bat and how Ethan Gilman's going to attack him there as he was all over that heater.
No balls, 1 strike, 1 down here, top of the second inning. No score.
See Gilman lean down in the stretch to get a sign from the catcher. It's always interesting to see how these pitchers pitch in the stretch. It's always much more fluent when you're in the windup. You're kind of in control. You're feeling yourself. The pace of the game is in your control, but you can still control it in the stretch. It's just a matter of how you slow it down, how you take the sign. As he hangs his arm down, looks, gets the sign.
Ball, it's stung into right field. Motley comes up quickly, fires it into the middle of the infield, and all of a sudden the Maples have something going now with 1 down. Back-to-back base runners, and he'll bring up the third baseman, Liam Goff.
Johnny Vecchio has a really good, smooth swing through the ball as he didn't really get under anything or on top of anything. A good eye, got himself and kept himself in a really good hitter's situation as he lined that first one foul and then took what the pitcher gave him on his hit that essentially went to right field. Just a line shot, a good piece of hitting to turn this into something here early on.
Nice job by Motley in right field to quickly get that ball in.
Almost a play at second base. He threw it in so quickly.
Kind of sidearmed it. He is a pitcher. Gilman comes to the belt, comes home with it. Goff gonna bunt. Gilman's gonna have to spring off the mound. Quick toss over to first. They didn't get him.
Yeah, that really good bunt. He took his time, waited to square to the last minute, and perfectly put that down the third base line. And there was really no play for the third baseman, Barry, so the only play was Gilman to spring off the mound there, and that's what he did. And he, fielded it pretty good for a pitcher, but the speed of Goff was too much there, and what looked like it was supposed to be a sacrifice bunt turned out to be a bunt single. And don't look now, the bases are chucked for the top of the order.
That's going to be Jimmy Love, the ninth place hitter, the second leadoff hitter.
I jumped the gun there. I was excited.
Jimmy Love. He did not have an at-bat in the doubleheader. He did play second base in both games, but was DH'd in both. So this is his first official at-bat in the rivalry series, and a big moment in the game for both teams. Bases full of Maples. Hard hit ball in the left field. It'll score one. They're going to hold up Vecchio as the throw comes in. It gets cut off by the third baseman, James Barry, but an RBI single for Jimmy Love as the Maples have strung together 3 straight base hits.
Really good piece of hitting there by the bottom of this order. Your 7, 8, 9 guys combined for single. Jimmy Love laces a fastball right over the head of the shortstop, and really a good job, though, by Caleb McKeever to get that ball in quickly and hit the cutoff man to hold the runner at third base. Johnny Vecchio there rounding third and was held up as we see a ball through the left side.
Simmons, the catcher. They're going to hold the base runner up again at third base. So 4 straight singles, and this one kind of looks like deja vu all over again for the Maples when they plated 8 runs in the third inning in game 2 of the doubleheader, where they were just stringing hit after hit after hit. So we'll take another look here at the outburst of offense. Looking back at a couple of the base hits that have now plated 2 and have given the Maples an early 2-0 lead.
Yeah, just really good approaches at the plate. If you get a fastball about belt high, green light, take a swing, and they've all put charges into it. And then obviously the bunt single sprinkled in as well, and that could have been meant to be a sacrifice, but a perfect location allowed for that to turn out to be a base hit as well. And still only 1 out in this inning, as it was the first man to bat. Alex Maxwell made the first out, but he hit it hard right at the right fielder. So really good approaches all inning by these Maples.
So this has kind of been the Maple MO. They're just going to pick up a bunch of base hits. You're not going to see a lot of power, but some clutch hitting, and it's 2-0. Gray Kinney popped out to the first baseman an inning ago. The ever-dangerous Max Shoemaker in the on-deck circle.
Interesting here for Kinney. He has his batting gloves in his back pockets, but is not wearing them while he bats. So I don't know if he uses any of that. Well, I would say in the field, but he's your DH today, so it might just be for show, maybe a superstition kind of deal. A lot of players have those.
Maybe put him on when he's base running in case he's got to do the head first slide. As Kinney slaps one into center field. It's up the gap, the left center gap. Gonna bounce off the Premier Pet Supply sign in left center. And they're gonna try to clear the bases. The throw comes home, and they're able to cut down the runner at the plate. But 2-run score on the double by Gray Kinney.
Really good. I've said it. It's like a broken record piece of hitting. But he took what he got, sliced that one all the way up to the wall in the left center field gap. Really aggressive base running there as Simmons was thrown out kind of by a good margin at home plate, but you don't want to make the last out at third base. So if that would have been the last out, they might have held him up at third, but good aggressive base running and coaching there by the Maples, but nonetheless 2 more runs come to the dish.
Big clutch double off the bat of Gray Kinney. It's giving the Maples a 4-run lead. They lead it now 4-0. Shoemaker, he's already doubled in this ball game. He is arguably hit the hardest ball of the game as he hammered one off the left field wall.
Missed a home run by, I'd say, 3 feet or so.
And now all of a sudden in a really good hitter's count, 2 balls, no strikes.
You know he's got the green light here if he wants to tee off on one, if he really likes it. About belt high, able to extend his hands, but high and away.
We're pretty close to the Seaholm bench, and it sounds like Shoemaker's got a little bit of a green light here, 3-0.
Yeah, he said
Coach telling him one spot, one spot.
Yep, one spot. If it's there, swing. If not, you know, you're still well in control of this at bat, and it wasn't even near the strike zone. So nothing hurt there putting him on base with a base open at first base with 2 outs. So he's now 1 for 1, and he's reached base twice now as he is on with a walk.
So Encia going to be the 9th batter to bat here for the Maples in the 2nd inning.
Definitely doesn't want to make this out because he made the final out of inning 1. You do not want to make the final out of both of the first 2 innings. So he's going to have a little reason to put a charge into one, or just be really patient here and make Gilman throw some strikes because he's missed quite a few of late.
He's issued 2 walks in this inning to go along with 5 base hits by the Maple offense.
Now, if he's missed this many in a row, I think at 2-0, yes, a good hitter's count, but I think you make him throw you a strike here. Even if it's your pitch, he really hasn't been throwing strikes. It's been 6 straight balls now Gilman has thrown, so I think he does not have the green light here, but I could be wrong.
Gray Kinney faking for third.
Generous call there. Must have caught the corner of the corner.
Send the runner. Motley going to stride back and catch that one for the final out of the inning, but the damage has been done. 4 runs scored, and after an inning and a half of play, the Maples now lead it 4-0.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. Talk with your doctor to create a treatment plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
Grove's offense now finding themselves trailing 4-0. It'll be Lawrence Bryson, the DH, to lead things off for the Falcons. A left-handed DH, also a catcher periodically for Coach Morrison. Watches that first pitch miss low.
Got your 6, 7, 8 hitters for the Falcons here in the bottom half of the 2nd inning. DH left field at third base. So we're going to see what the Falcons hope is a little bit of offense here.
It's going to be a tough play. And DeRocher made it look easy. Took that waist-high bounce, fired it across the diamond. And retire Bryson will bring up Caleb McKeever.
First ground out of the day for either team. So a lot of balls hit in the air off of these 2 left-handed pitchers. And a chopper, but like you mentioned, DeRocher, a very slick-handed defender. Ooh, do we see that one?
That one
Slice over our heads.
heading for our live truck. Camera guys are positioned along both lines, and I know it's a little more dangerous here at Groves. They're a little closer to the action than they are at Seaholm. So kind of making sure all our guys are okay, appear to be.
Don't need anybody crashing through any dugouts or anything if ball slices their way and they got to bail.
I'm getting the heck out of the way if there's a pop-up down this first baseline. So you might hear a crash to the mic.
No, I'll save you.
Will you?
Yeah, I got quick hands.
Sure brought a mitt.
No need.
Soft. In a green zone here, aren't we?
We're all right.
Another chopper. DeRocher goes deep in the hole. Not going to be able to get him, but a terrific play to just even field that ground ball.
Yeah, and still, if he would have had to be Derek Jeter-esque to do the jump and toss over going against your body, still a pretty impressive play, but nonetheless an infield single as he hits that one deep into the hole.
Second hit of the ball game for the Falcons. And brings up James Berry, the third baseman. Another lefty at the dish. We'll see how aggressive the Falcons want to be on the base pass once again.
I like the walk-up songs they got going here at their home field.
Nice stop by Lucas Simmons, the catcher.
We mentioned in that softball doubleheader about walk-up music. I don't know if you've had time to think about what yours would be. You didn't give me quite an answer last week, so I'm going to go back to the well.
Boy, you got me going the last time during the softball game, and I totally blinked during that, and I still haven't come up with anything good. What about yours? What would you, walk up to?
I gave you a bullpen song last time, a little Welcome to the Jungle, as I trotted in from the outfield bullpen. But now if I'm at the dish, I don't know. I might go country a little bit, maybe a little. I don't know. I really got to think about this here. Maybe a little DMX will fire you up. Some Juvenile.
Well, Coach Morrison during the pregame was asking for some DMX.
He was. That kind of stuck fresh in my mind. So I said, yeah, that's a good idea.
He asked Roger Motley for some DMX. I don't think Motley was able to come up with it. Morrison tried to make the play down there in the third base coaching box.
Couldn't quite bend down to make the play. So he would coach his guys. Got to stay down on it.
He's a lefty, first baseman and pitcher.
Oh, man, stone hands. Yikes.
He heard it from his home bench as well.
He might have to do a foul pole to foul pole a couple laps after that display, doing his best Eric Ebron impression.
Barry takes a look at one outside.
James Berry, your third baseman for the Groves, batting 8th here. 1 on, 1 out here, bottom of inning number 2.
Waits out that pitch. DeRocher going to just take the out at first base. It'll be a fielder's choice. No way he was going to get Caleb McKeever down at second base, so he wisely goes across the diamond.
Yep, and even that wasn't so sure. James Berry runs pretty well, and he was thrown out by about a half step, and that'll bring up Alex Nader, your second baseman for the Groves Falcons here in the 9 slot.
Alex Nader, second baseman, 9th Falcon in the order, looking for another clutch hit with a runner in scoring position. Second straight inning, Falcon has got down to second base, unable to capitalize in inning number 1. A pitch outside. 2 balls, no strikes on the second baseman.
Might take a kind of a gap shot to get McKeever home, as he's being kind of held closely at second base. He's not getting too much of a lead, as you can see. He's taking his steps back and then moving up closer to the baseline as the pitcher gets into his motion.
Strike on the inside corner. 2 balls, 1 strike now. Clipper doing a really nice job of mixing up speeds. Comes home with the 2-1 pitch. Nader fouls one straight back. Relative quiet afternoon here at Groves. No softball action. Some track practice taking place behind us.
So pretty much all eyes are on this baseball game, which is good. We got both sets of bleachers pretty full. people standing up and down the baselines. Always good to have a good turnout for these student athletes, give them crowds to play in front of.
Jimmy Love faking over at second base, able to get back to his position. And Alex Nader is going to wear that one as he got drilled.
Yeah, he saw that off-speed pitch coming. He knows this one's not going to hurt too much. He kind of just turned his back, but knew that one was going to peg him in the leg. And now you got 2 men on, 2 men out. And now I can say this correctly for the top of the order.
It'll be Harrison Cole. Walked back in the first. And we talked about Cole being one of those guys for the Falcons that has really hit the ball hard. Getting a little bit of support from his dugout. He fouls one away.
We see the shift being put on here. Coach directing his fielders where to play for each hitter. As we see the defensive alignment as they kind of play in a gap in the right side of the infield. And I don't really think that's necessarily to keep the runner close. I think he shifted him a little bit up the middle for Harrison Cole as he drives the ball up the middle. So we'll see if he puts one on the ground right there. As we see so often with the Tigers, you think that these guys hit one right up the box, but they got a defender standing right there. So that's just good coaching. So we'll see if it pays off. Now he's going to shimmy over to second base.
Yeah, the shift, Andy and I were talking about it during the doubleheader, has taken away a lot of hits. And some argue that the shift should be done away with. I don't agree with that at all. I think it's just good baseball. If you can shift defensively and create outs, there's no reason not to.
Yep, and that's job security. Somebody's got the job of watching each hitter. To
spray charts
correct.
And analytics.
So you're going to take that poor guy's job away?
Well, things are a lot easier now, too, with computers and being able to follow games along online.
Like Moneyball, Billy Bean Ball.
Yeah, Oakland Athletics kind of were the first squad to do that. The Houston Astros have applied a lot of science and technology as well to some of the things they do.
Joe Madden, also the king of the shift, now in the National League with the Cubs. So we've seen them really resurge that team. We see one coming a little bit our way. It sneaks out, takes a bounce, just out of the reach of
Lucas Simmons going after that one pretty hard.
Another 10 feet up. I might have had to save our equipment
monitor,
here.
yeah.
I would have dove across for
I'm a
you.
little more worried about the television than my own health.
Make a web gem. No baseball tonight.
There we are along the first baseline.
Yep.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Second inning. Deuce is wild for the Falcons. Trailing in the ball game 4-0. Jimmy Love sneaking over to second. Goff comes up with that ground ball, retires Harrison Cole for the final out of the second inning. So once again, the Falcons threaten but do not score. And after 2 innings of play, it's the Maples 4, and the Falcons nothing.
The forest is a whole hidden world of wonders. What better place to let your imagination soar? Experience nature and create a memory you can share. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest or park near you.
Top of the third inning, and a new pitcher now for the Groves Falcons. It'll be Michael Wayner.
Yeah, this is his first relief appearance of the year. He started 2 games. Those are his only games he's pitched in. He's gone 8 2/3 innings on the year. He's 1-0. Pretty impressive ERA, 2.42. He's walked 4 in 8 2/3 innings, so definitely wants to improve that. Hit a couple batters as well, but he struck out 5. He's given up 10 runs, but only 3 of which have been earned. So definitely some fielding mistakes behind him. Some pass balls as well, as that's something that the Falcons have really tried to work on. Their pass balls, they've given up quite a few this year as opposed to just 4 all year last year. So definitely something that they want to work on as we see a pop up into shallow center.
It's going to be a tough play, but it'll be the second baseman for the Falcons, Alex Nader, that goes back to make that catch. Well, yeah, you talk about those pass balls, and Groves Falcons had the luxury of having George Cutler behind the plate a season ago. He was all league for them. They lost 13 players to graduation, including 4 all-league players, Cutler, Bashan, Ford, and Ringler. And you lose a lot of power in that middle of the lineup as well, so perhaps a little bit of a rebuilding season. I don't think Coach Morrison will admit to that. He, wants to always contend, but when you lose 13 guys to graduation, obviously you're going to see a little bit of a drop-off.
Yeah, no matter what, but it gives opportunity for other younger players to start building their pedigrees and getting some in-game experience so they can be forces to be reckoned with even later in this season and obviously next season and the year after that, and try to put themselves in a position to get scooped up by a college and get seen possibly at the next level. So, when one door closes, another opens for somebody else.
And really, the biggest loss for the Falcons, where they were hurt the most, was their pitching. They ended up losing about 79% of their innings pitched from last season's team. So obviously kind of building on the fly your starting rotation this season.
About 79%, but hey, who's counting, right? That's pretty precise, pretty good stat pull there.
Coach Morrison, he loves the stats, and he was very specific when he sent me that, so I might as well give our viewers the exact total, 79% of the innings pitched.
That's right. Well, this inning's starting pretty much exactly like last inning. Alex Maxwell makes the first out, and then Paul DeRocher walks. So if history's going to repeat itself, there's going to be 5 straight hits for Seaholm. But the Falcons are hoping Michael Wayner has something different to say about that as he brings his right-handed offerings in.
Vecchio pops one up. Motley going to take a couple strides in and catch it right along that right field line.
Well, that's a good change of pace for the Falcons. Get that second out here as Liam Goff comes in. He singled in his last at-bat in the second inning that plated the Maples 4 runs, giving them this 4-0 lead, so to speak.
It was a bunt single for Goff. We kind of thought he was just trying to sacrifice, and it turned out to be a bunt single as a snap throw comes down to first. DeRocher goes back in with that head first slide.
Harrison Cole with a quick release back down towards first base. DeRocher back in plenty of time.
Goff hits one right through the hole. Little hit-run action as DeRocher took off for second base.
Worked out perfectly because that would have been right at the second baseman, Alex Nader. And, well, he had to go cover the bag due to the runner stealing. And what did Goff do? He fired it right through that hole where Nader was and ends up reaching with a single.
7th Maple hit of the afternoon will bring up Jimmy Love, 9th place hitter. He's 1 for 1 with a run scored.
Had a sharp single in his last at bat.
Also had a RBI. So really the bottom of the order has kind of carried them, has gotten on base and have scored 4 of their 5 runs. Or all four, sorry. It's 4-0. They've scored all 4 of their runs. Getting ahead of myself.
Yeah. Yeah, we've seen a lot of outs at the top and a lot of hits at the bottom. So always good when the bottom of the order is helping out the top when the top's not feeling themselves. So good to have a complete order all the way through, and you can hit 1 through 9. It's a pretty good luxury to have.
Shallow fly ball to left field. Camping under it and making the catch is Kalen McKeever. Seaholm threatens once again, and after 3 innings of play, they lead it 4-0.
Selfie. Nailed it.
Scotty Clippard out back for his 3rd inning of work. Will face Lipsy, Joe, and Motley in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Falcons find themselves in a 4-0 hole, trying to find some instant offense.
Yeah, all 3 of these hitters reached in their last at bat in the 1st inning, although Motley will be up 3rd this inning, was via the fielder's choice. But Trey Lipsy had a sharp single in his last at bat.
Hits one hard, but right into the shift. It'll be Love over to Maxwell for the first out of the inning.
One pitch, one out. If you're Scotty Clippert, you like that. Keep your pitch count down, make you able to go deeper into ball games when guys are swinging early and often.
And that was really the story for the Seaholm pitching in that doubleheader. Nick King was fantastic in the complete game, 7 innings. He fired strikes and really came away with less than 80 pitches in that ball game. So finding the strike zone, pitching the contact, and allowing your defense to do the dirty work.
Yeah, you always love to have guys on the mound that are going to throw strikes, especially if you're in the field behind him. You know, you're more in rhythm, you're more on your toes when he's throwing strikes. Balls are being put in play. Obviously, you like to get strikeouts as well, but when the ball is in play, it's easy to be involved in the game, and your defense is essentially then going to make less mistakes because they're getting more action their way.
Good eye by Eric Joe there. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 down. Another ground ball to the second baseman, Love. Joe quickly down the first baseline, able to get Joe by a couple steps, so 2 up, 2 down. And this Falcon offense really haven't shown much this afternoon.
Yeah, they've been stymied by the left-handed offerings of Scotty Clippert. He's been crafty. He's been throwing a lot of breaking balls here early on in this game, and we saw Gilman for Groves throw a lot of fastballs, but he was taken out, lifted for the right-hander, but there's another breaking ball.
Motley out in front.
Yeah,
he's upset with himself.
Yeah, that's a kind of a hanger, and you know, he would have loved to jump all over that one and trot the bases.
Yeah, hang it and bang it, right?
That is the motto. That's what they tell me, at least.
Swings through that high heat. So quickly in an 0-2 hole.
I don't know if he burns one here or just he might be feeling it. Try to get him to chase again, maybe high and away with a heater, or he might burn one down.
Misses outside, so 1 ball, 2 strikes on the power hitting right fielder.
Really like how Clippert's mixing up the eye level of Roger Motley. He's throwing a couple low, and then he swings through a higher one. And then we see that nice breaking ball, but way to lay off by Motley. That's a good pitch there. That's a confident pitcher to throw that pitch in that situation.
Motley had a big grin on his face as he exited the batter's box. He knew he nearly offered in that same exact location there. That one skips in the dirt. So it'll fill it up here with 2 outs.
Nobody on here. You're not going to try to groove them one, although it is a 3-2 count. You try to paint the corner here. Let it be your pitch. You don't want to get beat with your third option or something like that with empty base pass. I'd be careful here.
So the Falcons, only 2 hits, both of them singles. Had some base runners on via the walk and a hit batter. So the base paths have been full for the Falcons, but they really just haven't been able to come up with that clutch hit. Payoff pitch misses low. Motley waited just a little bit longer and will trot down to first base. Bring up Sam Scheinbaum, struck out back in the first inning.
A little protest there from the Seaholm dugout there, and
Coach Toth wanting to know where that last pitch was, and got explanation that it was inside.
Lucas Simmons kind of jumped in disbelief. It's a ground ball to third.
Scheinbaum going after that first pitch, grounds out. Maples right now in cruise controls. We head to the 4th inning. They lead it 4-0.
Because of you, I feel not alone in this world. And you let me know that it only takes one person to make you feel wanted.
It'll be the top of the Seaholm order here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Simmons, Kinney, Shoemaker. Simmons 1 for 2 with an RBI single. Maples out in front, 4-0.
Fours are wild, 4-0 in the 4th inning for number 4. So what's going to happen here? I'm not sure. I just decided to drop the scenario first. See if you had an answer for me.
Wayner in his 2nd inning of work. Missing high and away. 2 balls, no strikes. Middle of the Falcon defense. Their infield at least. A couple steps back nearly on the outfield grass. Corner infielders a step or 2 in, especially the 3rd baseman James Barry. He's nearly crept onto the infield grass.
Let's see what they got up their sleeve here. Simmons asks for and receives time.
Lots of chatter coming out of the Maple first base dugout, and why not?
Who let the dogs out?
They've had the Falcons number. Pitch missing low. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Good hitters count here. Sure, Simmons has the green light. He's a good hitter, over 300.
Comes a 3-1 offering, missing outside. So Lucas Simmons draws a walk to lead off the 4th inning. And we talked about earlier in the game our camera guys being on top of the dugout and some of our equipment coming into play. That last foul ball by Lucas Simmons nearly took out our GoPro cameras. We'll get another good look at it here. Look out!
Coming in hot.
Straight into your living rooms.
You can see the laces on that one. Slow motion.
Rawlings baseball, too. You can
It
see
is. We don't mess around out here.
the label right on the ball.
You're in the 2-4-8. Keep it real, literally.
Gray Kinney, 1 for 2. Big 2-run double. And that explosive 2nd inning for the Maples. Saw him collect 5 hits, including a Kinney double. Plated 4, and that's why they lead at 4-0. 4 runs on 7 hits. Groves, no runs on 2 hits. Falcons have left 5 men on base. It's kind of been the story thus far.
He's got those batting gloves still in his back pocket. I saw him after he had to slide and into second base, and I saw him get his hands dirty, and what did he? He wiped it on his batting gloves. So it might just be used as a towel or something to keep the paws clean. A lot of guys like the natural feel of no batting gloves, the natural sting, as he probably felt there as he grounds one to second.
Second baseman Nader bobbled that ball long enough where he wasn't able to turn 2. So he just got the easy out at first base. So fielder's choice.
Yeah, he looked to second, but as he looked, his hands didn't follow through, and he kind of juggled it and made the smart play to just get the sure out at first base.
The grips of the baseball bats have gotten a lot better. I think they call that stuff like lizard skin now, the grips on the bats.
Lizard skin, huh? Is
Yeah.
that what they call it, eh? Back in my day, oh, I just sounded old, but when I played, it was no lizards. It might have felt more like lizard skin. It was hard and grainy and rough.
Yeah, these grips on the bats now are almost even better than golf grips.
My golf clubs the grips on those things are stripped like tires. It's bad. It's probably why I'm a 73 handicap.
Wayner missing for the 2-ball, no strike count. Wayner in his 2nd inning of work holds the baseball behind his back, glares in at his catcher. Harrison Cole gets the signal, checks the runner at second base and delivers home. Strike on the inside, Black.
Delayed call there by home plate umpire, but up with the right arm he went.
Shoemaker 1 for 1, been on base both times. Extremely dangerous hitter, we know that. Stings one down to the shortstop, Eric Joe. There's that Jeter hop, skip, and a jump, but he throws it wide, and that will allow the courtesy runner to score. We'll call that a reach on air, no RBI for Shoemaker. And the Maples now lead at 5-0.
Yeah, a good play to get there, good range there by Joe, but the throw just a little bit low, and Scheinbaum was not able to pick it. And as we see this, the toss just underneath the glove, he was able, it wasn't a terrible throw, but a pick that I'm sure Scheinbaum would like to have back runner in motion. Good play, just to keep that one out of the outfield, but that'll be an infield single.
Eric Joe, unbelievable the range he has at shortstop, the amount of terrific plays that we've seen in limited action. He just can go and get it.
Yeah, that was he parallel to the ground on that diving stop through the third base shortstop hole on the left side of the infield, and just that right there keeps the runner at second base, because if that goes to the outfield, then you got runners on the corners, and depending on the throw, you might have a run in. So just it's little plays like that that don't get the recognition because it's still a single in the scorebook, but it essentially keeps a runner 90 feet further back than they would have been.
The runners take off, another hit and run. And they're going to try to turn two. Joe quickly gets it over to first and throws it in the dirt. Valencia able to break up that double play as a run scores. Shoemaker scampers home.
It'll be an unearned run.
So no RBI for Maxwell, fielder's choice.
Fielder's choice, E6. Another throwing error by Eric Joe, and as soon as he made that throw, he kind of grabbed to his hat in, disgust with himself, a little frustration, knowing that he still had a little more time than he thought to put a good throw over there to first base to complete that double play.
So two more runs in, only one hit in this inning. So once again, the Maples finding ways to manufacture runs. They constantly are putting guys in motion. It's like the second or third time this inning we've seen a hit and run.
Yeah, and every time the bat has been put on the ball, so that's really good discipline there, just to know that you have to make contact. It doesn't matter if you foul it off, pop it up, just bat on the ball. Because your guys, they could be dead ducks out there, so to speak.
DeRocher, no official at bat. He's had 2 plate appearances, and both were walks. He eventually came around and scored in that eventful 4-run second inning. 2 more runs in here in the 4th. Maples now lead at 6-0, and this one kind of has shades of that second game of the doubleheader that saw the Seaholm Maples win 10-0, and slowly this game slipping away from the Falcons. These add-on runs are huge.
Yeah, and it's kind of self-inflicted errors as we have 2 runs on 2 errors this inning, and we see this one might drop.
Motley able to make the grab, going in the right center gap to snare it. After 3.5 innings of play, the Maples now lead at 6-0.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul.
Falcons starting to run out of opportunities. Bottom of the 4th inning, trailing now 6-0. It'll be Lawrence Bryson, the DH, to lead things off. 6, 7, and 8, the offensive tack.
Bryson hit one on the ground, a shortstop last time.
This time rolls one down to the first baseman. Maxwell will make the easy play. 3 unassisted.
One pitch, one out. Again, Clippert's been really efficient with his pitch count on the mound, so he's going to like that, especially early on in an inning, getting guys to chase those first pitches. That one low.
3rd straight inning that they've gotten that first out as well. So the leadoff hitter not getting on base for the Falcons, not able to put some of those things in motion, so limiting this offensive attack, especially out of that leadoff position, has been huge.
Yeah, only leadoff man has reached in one of their 4 innings thus far. That was back in the first when they threatened but did not score. So that's something that they're going to have to improve on here, or try to get this second guy to maybe get an extra base hit to make up for it, as we have a pop-up. Might be foul ground, might not be.
No, that one's going to stay in play. Valencia, that was a little bit of an adventure out in right field. Took a funny path to that ball, but 2 up, 2 down, and this has been the story for the Groves offense. Just easy outs. Haven't been able to generate much.
Yeah, look at Clippert bringing his old school stirrups to the mound. Looking vintage there. High socks. A lot of guys.
Groves has got the old school stirrups as well.
They do, but look, not all the players for the Maples do that. Some of them have the soccer socks, as you see in the background. So, but the old school, I like it. I'm a fan of the high socks. I've always been. But whenever I found myself kind of in a slump at the plate, I would change it up. I'd kind of break that hole in the bottom of my pants and tuck it under my metal cleat in the back. Like
the Maglio Ordonia style?
And then our coaches got mad at us because we were breaking all of our
You're constantly going through pants?
Yeah, they didn't like that. But I said, I don't need new pants. I'm going to use that hole regardless. And, you know, if things are right at the dish, when I hike my pants back up, you're not going to see that hole because it's tucked in. And, you know, it doesn't matter as we see a base on balls.
James Barry gets on base via the walk, and it'll bring up the 9th place batter, Alex Nader. He's hit by a pitch back in the 2nd.
I always say a good team with 2 when you're got 2 outs, so a 2-out rally would be essential right now for Groves as their 2nd leadoff hitter, if you will, the 9th spot.
Oh, Barry caught in no man's land. He hesitated, and he's going to get thrown out, and that's just going to make Sean Morrison on that Groves sidelines absolutely furious.
Yeah, he's got his head down right now, and he's looking to his bench, trying to keep the optimism up here. As we get later on, they're going to start needing some magic.
We'll head to the 5th. Maples lead at 6-0.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. Talk with your doctor to create a treatment plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
Welcome back to Birmingham Groves High School. Brad Fetters alongside Nick Buckler for BACB Sports. So glad you decided to tune us in. Top of the 5th inning. Maples out in front 6-0. And Nick, this is the 126th all-time meeting between the two schools. The Falcons with that slight advantage now of 64 wins, 60 losses, and that very notorious tie. So the Maples, having lost the previous 13 encounters between these two schools, have now won 2 straight, looking to make it 3 straight here this afternoon.
And you know they're going to try to make a 13, 14, 15 game winning streak of their own here and really try to make this a one-sided rivalry, but definitely much improved Maples team this year than we've seen obviously in many years past, and discipline at the plate there. And really up and down this lineup, hitting the ball hard 1 through 9, and that's a very big luxury to have if you're Coach Toth here and this Maples team.
It's Johnny Vecchio, the left fielder. Lead things off, bottom 3rd of the lineup for Seaholm here, 7, 8, 9.
Got a new 3rd baseman in there for Groves.
Joey Shapiro replacing James Barry.
Barry made that last out in the rundown there at 2nd base.
Kind of thought maybe Seaholm would be much improved this season. 14 seniors on this roster as Vecchio hammers one into the right center gap. Up against the fence, he's going to cruise into 2nd and put on the brakes. Leadoff double for the left fielder. 2nd hit of the ball game.
A really good piece of hitting, just like he had his base hit. He shot it the other way, took what the pitcher gave him, he drove that one. fans around us standing as that one nearly reached the wall the opposite way. If he gets around on that, he might have the distance. Look at that. Stays back, shifts his weight perfectly, and he got some instruction before that pitch from coach, and he fouled one off because he wasn't swinging through it. He says, stay back, swing through, and on the very next pitch, that's exactly what he did, and he drives that ball up the gap in right field and cruises in to second with his second hit of the game and his first double.
Brings up Liam Goff, had a really good day at the plate, 2 for 2, a bunt single, and a regular old-fashioned single in the third inning. So 2 for 2.
Dogs are barking here on this maple.
That touched Harrison Cole, who tried to make a diving play from the catcher's position.
He's saying it didn't.
And if that touched Harrison Cole in fair territory, that's a live ball, and that will be a base hit.
Harrison Cole asked home plate umpire for help, or asked the home plate umpire to ask for help from the field ump. As we're gonna
get another look at it here. I think it hit the infield dirt and spun back.
Yeah, that didn't hit him. Nope.
Unless.
That hits the dirt.
The way this spins, you knew it had a lot of top spin off the bat.
Coach Morrison's not thrilled, and this might be some frustration with how the game's gone, but I really think he's in the right here. I wonder if he's going to get the gate.
No, I don't think he'll get that animated. Not entirely sure what the high school rules are if he would have to sit the next game as well. If you get tossed from this ball game, but he is definitely making his point, and credit the field umpire giving him some time to get an explanation. We'll get another look at it here from a different angle, perhaps. This might give us
not even close
to Harrison, unless it hit maybe his mask here.
No, it's way down the line. From that angle, we can't tell, but that doesn't hit him.
So another bunt single. We'll call it a single.
Yeah. Scoring-wise, so runner will get over to third base on that.
So runners on the corner now for Jimmy Love. 1 for 2 in the ball game, and Wayner's going to step off the rubber. I think were they asking for an appeal? No, I guess not.
Nothing really to appeal unless a runner missed a base somewhere. I mean, obviously they'd like to appeal that call, but they can't do it. It's a foul ball back the other way. But as I was saying before that drama unfolded, the dogs are indeed barking here. It's just a rough day, if you will.
We'll have to get an explanation on what the barking's all about out of the Seaholm bench.
I wouldn't mind to know. I'm enjoying it. I'm more of a dog guy than a cat guy myself, so I mean, it sounds much tougher to bark rather than to meow, so to speak. So,
what was it? Was it the Coastal Carolina football coach that said he wanted a bunch of dogs?
Dog pound.
Didn't want a bunch of cats. Wanted a bunch of dogs.
I don't blame him.
Cat in the house.
Cat in the hat.
Remember that one? Jimmy Love missing.
I remember the Cat in the Hat. Is that Sam I Am? No, that's Green Eggs.
We got Sam Scheinbaum in the Groves line.
Yeah, I like that. Good segue into actually meaning something as my mind's wandering as it always does.
Love down to third base and through the third base. We'll see if we get a play at home plate. We will. And they're going to get Vecchio at the plate.
A little contact there. Might have been shoulder to the helmet of Vecchio as the tag was made. He doesn't look too thrilled. He was bodied a little bit on that, but nonetheless a good tag on kind of a high, wide throw from the shortstop, but a good tag made. We're going to see it here again where this contact comes. Yeah, head-to-head, he laid the shoulder on him, hit stick, so to speak. But that foot might have snuck in, but obviously no instant replay at the high school level.
I don't think that was intentional by Harrison Cole.
No, absolutely not. He just wanted to make sure he got in front of him to apply the tag, but Vecchio still took a lick.
So Shapiro comes in at third, unable to make that play, but a terrific heads-up play by the shortstop, Eric Joe, to come home with it. Cuts down the base runner trying to score, Johnny Vecchio. So Goff remains at second. Jimmy Love now at first base. 5-6-2 on the out.
Just your ordinary 5-6-2 put out.
Top Top of the order, Lucas Simmons looking to get going offensively. Flies one to straightaway center field. Trey Lipsy takes a couple steps back to make the catch.
Runners do not tag. It wasn't hit too deep, wasn't hit too high, so they got to stay put at first and second. Now we got 2 down.
Gray Kinney now 1 for 3 in the ball game. Roped a double back in the second for his lone hit of the game, but it was a big one, 2 RBI double. 2 down now. Top of the 5th inning, Kinney waits out that breaking ball in the dirt. Harrison Cole doing a little bit of an acting job behind the plate, trying to get those base runners to move. Acted like he didn't know where the ball was.
Yeah, seeing if he could bait him, even though it was right down next to his foot, he knew it. Kind of playing dumb, if you will, and hoping to get him to bite.
Kinney, the quarterback of the Maple offense in the football season. That's a seeing eye single into shallow center. Lipsy's going to fire one home, and the runner is going to hold up. That's a ball that probably could have scored, Goff.
Nonetheless, it's Kinney's second hit of the game, first single of the game. Just kind of slapped one into center field.
The throw by Lipsy was up the first baseline as he fired it all the way home. We'll get another. This will be a terrific look at the throw home.
The throw was just a little bit high, so that's why they couldn't cut it, so it had to go all the way through.
Shoemaker takes a strike on the outside corner. Extremely dangerous hitter at the plate. 1 for 2. Got a double, a walk, and also reached on an error. Missing outside, evens up the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 down here in the top half of the 5th inning.
Groves would love to strand these bases loaded here and try to get to work on offense in the bottom half, as time's getting limited for him.
Shoemaker on the first base line. Roger Motley there, the steady right fielder, makes the catch. So they'll leave them loaded. Falcons coming to bat, need some runs. They trail 6-0.
The forest is a whole hidden world of wonders. What better place to let your imagination soar? Experience nature and create a memory you can share. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest or park near you.
9-1-2 for the Falcons in the bottom of the 5th inning. Alex Nader, the second baseman, was at the plate when James Berry got cut down on the pickoff play. Scotty Clippert back out for his 5th inning of work, and really credit this Seaholm pitching staff. If they are able to come away with the series sweep, they have really put in the work. 2 complete games in the doubleheader, and now Clippert filling up the stat sheet.
Nader was at the dish when the base running error of James Berry happened, so he's going to dig in for another opportunity here. So this will be his official at-bat. Just missed in.
Clippert has walked 4 Falcons. He's only struck out 1. He's pitched to contact, and Groves has helped him out a little bit.
You ready for one? That 1 strikeout, only strikeout of the game for either team.
Wow. So it's another walk. So maybe that is what the Groves offense needs, a leadoff base runner. We talked about that in the middle 3 innings where they failed to get that first runner on. And they'll turn it over to the very top of the lineup now to Harrison Cole.
That's what you like out of a 9-hitter, get on base. It's the second time he's reached. He was drilled, and then he takes it.
Cole squares around a bunt, pulls the bat back, takes that inside pitch. Alex Nader getting some further instruction by his head coach, Sean Morrison. It had something to do with a little bit of a bigger secondary lead. Lipsy Joe, the top third of the order, and another pickoff. Unbelievable. They froze Nader, and they're going to get him now in a rundown. Helpless feeling here for the base runner. Just runs out of steam as Paul DeRocher, the shortstop, applies the tag.
Coach Morrison lecturing his dugout about self-inflicted errors, I'm sure. His hat's off. He's pretty animated over there, as he should be. Another, ooh, that was close to a balk there as Clippert was started to go home with that right foot. But nonetheless, got him in that rundown, and another base running error. That one definitely hurts.
So you had Harrison Cole in the first inning, draw a walk, got picked off. And now Nader drawing the walk to lead things off in the fifth and gets picked off. So if you remember correctly, all the way back in the first inning, the first three batters for Groves all got on base, but they didn't have anything to show for it because Harrison Cole did get picked off.
Yeah, and then this is another one here that I'm sure Nader would love to have back. You're not going anywhere in that situation. He was just kind of in no man's land. He didn't have that big of a lead, but was just frozen by the move from Scotty Clippert.
That might have been a courtesy runner for Harrison Cole. Don't want to put too much blame on him.
It was Turner, I believe.
Eli Turner, that's correct. Kind of a unique rule in the high school game where you can have that courtesy runner for the catcher and pitcher. You can also DH for any member of the order. Kind of a unique situation where both of these teams DH their pitcher. The old-fashioned American League rule.
I was going to say, it gives you the old American League field, so to speak.
You're looking ahead to the bottom half of the fifth inning. It's going to be the meat of the order. Heart of the lineup.
Thick of the order? Would you go that far?
I would not. So it's another base on balls for Harrison Cole. And we'll see, yep, he will get lifted for a courtesy runner. It's like deja vu all over again. This one's playing out exactly like the first inning did. Trey Lipsy at the plate, 1 for 2. Lipsy with that open stance in the left-hand batter's box takes one up for a 1-ball, no strike count. Eric Joe in the on-deck circle. Takes one right down Lincoln.
I like what you did there. A little Birmingham feel.
In 2014 was the last time Seaholm swept the regular season series. They also won a district playoff game.
Good year.
Last time Seaholm beat Groves. Pop up. The second baseman, Jimmy Love, calling everybody off to make the catch. So 2 outs now in the bottom of the fifth.
Take a 2-out rally here. And just that picked off runner really looms large here, as you would have had runners at first and second with just 1 out. Instead, you got a runner on first with 2 outs, and you're arguably the meat of the order here with the 3-hitter up here and Eric Joe, and then you got Motley and Scheinbaum right behind him. So you got some sluggers coming up, and just those self-inflicted wounds really loom large and hurt your chances for a comeback when you need it oh so much.
Yeah, that pickoff really just halts any sort of momentum you're trying to build as Joe gets jammed, and that one's got to be really close to our live truck.
Oh, that was kind of popped my earphone off there and tried to hear, but I didn't hear a boom or anything.
Appears that everybody is okay. We're still plugged in, still providing you the images. Scotty Clippert holding that ball behind his back.
Didn't hear a boom, but I didn't hear a live either.
Comes to a set, fires over to first. Ooh, close.
You like my reference there? A little microphone
Sure do.
lingo. I had to clarify because didn't want to sound too dumb.
Viewers at home have no idea what a boom mic is.
They don't need to know. They just know that it provides them with the in-game sounds, and we'll give you the sights.
A few more sports to be played here in the spring between our two rival schools. We'll join together to play some lacrosse. We still got boys lacrosse coverage to bring you. It's a united team.
Some water polo as well. Girls, that is.
Good off-speed pitch, missing up. They'll fill it up. Payoff pitch coming up here for Scotty Clippert. So they'll be able to put the base runner in motion. Turner will be able to go on the pitch. Try the pickoff once again. It's a good idea because you know Turner's going.
See the bullpen getting loose there in the background for the Maples. So Clippert pitch count getting high as he's starting to feel some stressful action.
Payoff pitch freezes Joe. He goes down looking, and now Morrison really upset.
He was thinking about coming out and getting his money's worth, but he thought better of that and went right back into the dugout.
We've played 5. Maples still out front, 6-0 as you get another look at the payoff pitch to Joe and just caught the inside part of the plate.
Selfie. Nailed it.
Cleanup hitter Alex Owencia to lead things off in the top of the 6th inning for the Maples. Out front 6-0.
Owencia is 1 for 3, 2 flyouts and a single.
Scotty Clippert for the Maples has done a terrific job limiting this potent Falcon offense to just 2 hits. 2 singles, that's it. Single in the first and a single in the second.
His day may be done as we saw some action in that Maple bullpen.
Looked like
that was Mitchell Medikosh getting loose.
Valencia goes down looking.
Good breaking ball there by Wayner. Froze him.
First strikeout for the Groves pitchers. Wayner in his 3rd inning of relief. Alex Maxwell 0 for 3. She tries to get going. One of the few Maples without a hit. Breaking ball outside.
Wayner going back to the well. He's got the call on the last couple breaking balls, so he throws that one. Just didn't kind of finish his motion there, hung that one out. And the dog pound is getting rowdy there again.
Wayner kind of looks over and chuckles.
The dog days of spring are upon us. Barking up the right tree.
Off the end of the bat, Joe. He gets everything for that shortstop position. I don't think there's a ball he can't get to.
I don't think so.
I think he goes foul line to foul line. Infield single for Maxwell, so his first hit of the game.
His range a lot Iglesias-like.
Or do they say water covers 70% of the earth and Eric Joe covers the rest?
I always like when you're behind a tree in golf and you just want to smack it right through the tree because, you know, a tree is 90% air.
That's what they say. Single into shallow left. So back-to-back base hits, and the dogs are barking, and why not? They are having fun. It's going to be a busy week for the Maples. They're playing 7 games in 5 days, so a little bit of a different approach. I asked both coaches prior to the start of this game, I said, what'd you guys do yesterday on the off day between the doubleheader and the single game? And Coach Morrison said his guys got after it. They tried to put that doubleheader loss, erase it from the memory banks, and for Coach Toth, it was a day off for his guys.
Always welcomed as a player after a tough doubleheader, but you kind of did a good job. You took care of the task at hand in both games, and you know, when you do good in the second game especially, it kind of sits fresh in the coach's mind, and you reward yourself with an off day and more chance to do some homework. Brad?
Yeah, student-athletes getting after it this week. Vecchio pounds one into the dirt. Second baseman's going to take the out at second. Joe's going to fire over to first to try to complete the double play. A little bit of a dangerous throw. There's no way they were going to get the runner down at first. So fielder's choice, 4-6-3.
Still very close, though. Good, quick, strong throw by Eric Joe over at the shortstop position, getting off that bag and getting a really good throw to make that even a play at all, because like you mentioned, there's no chance he's going to get Vecchio, right? But ends up barely beating that one, so a good bang-bang play, but nonetheless picking up the second out of the inning at second base.
So Liam Goff now at the plate. He's 3 for 3, 3 singles, and they're probably two of the 3 singles are going to be some of the shortest singles you're ever going to see hit in a baseball game, as he has 2 bunt singles, including one at the home plate umpire said glanced off of Harrison Cole, the catcher.
Which replay showed it didn't. But Goff's going to take that all the way. He's going to say, of course it did. That's how I planned it. I'm obviously going to say, for sure, that's a 3 for 3 day. Don't argue, don't ask questions.
No pictures in the scorebook, but there are pictures on the television broadcast.
Like I said earlier, they don't ask how. They just ask how many, and he says 3, looking for 4.
Tough strike call there. Pitch looked a little low. Goff also has a run scored. Wayner trying to wiggle out of it.
Just a smidge outside. Good breaking ball Wayner has had here all inning long. He's really found his spot with that, buckling the knees of a couple of the Maple hitters, but now going to need the payoff pitch here with a couple ducks on the corners.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Goff. Wayner comes to the letters. They put on a pickoff play, and nobody covering second, and they still got him. Now he drops it, and they're going to say he's safe at second base. Wow. Going to say Nader dropped the ball after applying the tag. So the initial call was out, and then the bobble. The ball hitting the dirt.
I'll see if Goff can cash in.
And he will. Hammers one into right center. He's 4 for 4. 2-run RBI single. Oh boy, the Falcons should have been out of the inning.
Self-inflicted wounds. Coach Morrison not happy. He's going to come out to the mound here. Try to calm down Wayner. It's not his fault. He's going to have the infield come in as well. Wayner pleading his case. He wants to finish this inning. I don't know if they're going to let him or not. But nonetheless, he's going to have a word with the entire infield, kind of get him right, and try to get this final out of the inning.
Liam Goff making a case perhaps for BACB Sports Player of the Game. 4 for 4. Runs scored, couple RBI now. That'll bring up Jimmy Love. 1 for 3.
Wayner going to stay in this game. Pleaded his case to his head ball coach, as pitchers do so often.
Breaking ball out in front, popping it straight up. Eric Joe going to call off his third baseman to record that final out. But the damage has been done. The Falcons should have been out of the inning. But a drop ball by Alex Nader allows the Maples offense to continue. They push across 2 more. As we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, it's the Maples 8, Falcons nothing.
Because of you, I feel not alone in this world. And you let me know that it only takes one person to make you feel wanted.
Roger Motley to lead things off in the bottom of the 6th inning. 4, 5, 6 here for the Falcons. As the Seaholm offense has come to play today, out hitting the Falcons 14-2.
And a lot of that has been this man right here, Scotty Clippert. And we thought his day might be done, but he might have lobbied for another inning to Coach Toth, and he said, okay, you've done good this far. And he ended last inning with a frozen strike 3, so he ended on a high note. He said, okay, trot yourself back out there.
Motley lifts one up. Goff a long run. So they had him in the shift. Typically your third baseman, he's kind of positioned generally where the shortstop is. He's playing Motley to pull. A long run for Goff. Just ran out of real estate as that ball fell out of play. Motley rolls one down to the first baseman. Maxwell going to win the race to the bag. 1 up, 1 down.
Goff definitely getting his steps in there after chasing that pop-up into foul territory after he's really gotten his steps in, running to first base 4 times, 4 singles. He's running all over the place. He might be running himself into an interview with me after this one.
Yeah, 4 for 4. Obviously, Scotty Clippert's got to be in the running as well for BACB Sports Player of the Game, holding this Falcons offense to those 2 base hits. The last was all the way back in the 2nd inning. So,
can I split my vote?
Well, if I split mine and you split yours, we're right back at square one. Might have to call on the live truck perhaps to break that vote. Guaranteed to go the distance here. So we're getting word from our live truck that the score remains the same. It's Scotty Clippert will be our BACB Sports Player of the Game. That's the deciding vote from the live truck. Is Scheinbaum works the walk.
Pitchers need the love, you know. It's the offensive guys, they get to slug, they get to run around, they get to bark and howl at the moon and woof woof, bark bark. But you know who's been calm throughout the whole thing? It's been that man right there, the southpaw, number 38.
Some more action in the Seaholm bullpen. As the Maples turn 2, made it look routine. Far from it, but a terrific double play Maples really on a roll right now, aren't they?
That's a
tremendous baseball.
Real slick fielding, the old 6-4-3 double play, and just that's exactly how you write it up right there. They're fired up, and he keeps his foot on the bag. 8-0.
We'll head to the 7th here on BACB Sports.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul.
Top of the order for the Maples in the 7th inning. Lucas Simmons to lead things off. 1 for 3. This is his 5th plate appearance. Reached base twice. Single and a base on balls. Wainer back out. Fifth inning of work for the right-handed relief pitcher. Giving up 4 runs, not many of them earned.
There's been a couple errors and some other things behind him that have happened, so he's really found a good niche with his breaking ball.
Ball out of play along the third baseline.
Fans ducking for cover rather than keeping their eye on it to try to get out of the way. They're just bracing themselves for impact like a hurricane's coming through.
It's been the even innings for the Maples. They scored 4 in the 2nd, 2 in the 4th, and 2 in the 6th. There's another single that falls in front of Lipsy. Misplayed it out in center field, so we'll call it a single off the bat of Simmons.
Single E8.
That'll bring up Gray Kinney. A couple base hits and a couple RBI. They'll lift Simmons for the courtesy runner. Jack Murad will take a spot at second base.
That play almost looked as if Lipsy was in between diving or playing it on the hop, and he was in between, and that's why it trickled past him, and luckily it didn't go all the way to the wall, only allowing for 1 extra bag.
Just kind of, we were waiting for Gray Kinney to break out of it, and he has done so this afternoon.
To the tune of 2 for 4, single double.
Another hard hit right up the box, and they'll hold the runner at third. 8-run lead, don't need to be too aggressive. So third hit of the game for Kinney. Brings up Shoemaker, player of the game in game 2 of the doubleheader. Had a little bit more of a rough go of it here at the plate. Smoked that double though back in the first, but nothing since.
Yeah, he just missed hitting that one out of the yard. Down the left field line. Just hit on that sign out next to the 298 marker, so about 295 feet. Uncorked one.
Wainer comes home with an inside pitch. Shoemaker avoiding the pitch. Valencia on the on-deck circle. Wainer's going to step off now. Not much of a lead for either base runner.
Nope, they're playing kind of smart ball, knowing that they're up comfortably here. Don't want to run into any outs and don't want to necessarily run up a score.
Shoemaker going to fly one straight away, shallow center field. Lipsy under it. And the courtesy runner is going to fake for a home. Lipsy will fire one in.
In a close game, I bet you they might send him there, but a civil rivalry, so to speak.
Yeah, Lipsy has shown a really strong arm, but both of his throws from center field have been up the first baseline. He's airmailed his cutoff man both times.
Yeah, that means he's putting a lot into it. He's kind of torquing that arm, following through too much, so to speak, pulling it up that first base line. So overzealous, I guess you could say, over anxious. But nonetheless, runner does not score, stays put at the corners with one away.
Oencia 1 for 4, does have a single. He's flown out to left, flown out to right, struck out. Another throw over to first base.
The old jump and toss spinorama move by Wayner. Pretty good one.
Groves coming off a 26-10 mark a season ago. That one's popped straight up. Harrison Cole going to give a look to it as the ball comes spinning back. Tough play for the catcher, and Shapiro was there as well.
These ones are always tough when it pops straight up and you're looking under it. It's always good to kind of leave it in front of you. It's easier to go forward than backwards if you're a catcher, or anyone under a fly ball for that matter, or a pop-up's generally got more spin on it. Backspin, as we saw, just out of the reach. Harrison Cole. Close move there.
We mentioned 26-10 a season ago for Groves. First time in program history the team finished with a .700 winning percentage for 3 consecutive seasons. So the Falcons have been good for a very long time, including that 2016 district championship team.
Wayner pulled the string on him there, froze him. I think Oencia was sitting fastball, got curveball, now it's 0-2.
Here's it's going to be the Maples' year, though. Two teams could meet potentially again in districts. These two teams are in the same district. That will be played over at Brother Rice. Defensive indifference allowing Kinney to go to second. There's another breaking ball. Oencia out in front. Oencia going to be thrown out as Eric Joe had to hold that ball a little bit longer as Wayner was kind of in his vision, in his line of the throw.
Don't want to take your pitcher's head off there.
So but kind of double pumped, didn't he?
Throws a little high, but that's why you always put a big guy over at first base and shine bomb. He was able to kind of keep a tiptoe down on the bag and haul in the throw from Eric Joe. 2 down.
Nice block by Harrison Cole. 8-0, top of the 7th inning, 2 down here. Looking ahead offensively for the Falcons. It'll be 7-8-9 to the bottom third. That's a base hit off of the bat of Alex Maxwell. We'll plate 1.
Second hit of the game, and it was a sharp single into right field, netting a run.
Bring up Paul DeRocher on base 3 times this evening. It's only 1 for 2. He's drawn a couple walks. Another hard hit ball, this time right at Lipsy, who glides over to make the catch. But last chance opportunity now for the Falcons. They trail by 9. They're going to need a big inning to come back in this one. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th here on BACB Sports.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. Talk with your doctor to create a treatment plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
Welcome back to Birmingham Groves High School. Brad Fetters and Nick Buckler. And Nick, a new pitcher coming into the game for the Seaholm Maples to put the finishing touches on this ball game.
And we got Mitchell Metakash checking in. This will be his 3rd relief appearance, 5th appearance. He started twice. And he's only pitched 4 innings, only given up 1 earned run. His ERA 1.75. He struck out 5 batters in those 4 innings. He's given up 4 runs, but only 1 of which earned. So an impressive young right-handed arm to come in and try to slam the door in this 9-0 Maple lead.
Just going to face the left fielder, Caleb McKeever, to lead things off. Slow grounder. DeRocher comes up. One up, one down. It's kind of been the same story seemingly all afternoon long. 2 hits for Groves in the game.
Yep, they've hit the ball on the ground. Haven't really hit the ball too hard other than a handful of at-bats. And it was Scotty Clippard who kept him at will, and Metakash trying to do the same thing as he gets an early swing and a weak ground ball to shortstop.
Metakash, big wind-up.
I like that. The
legs
high
going
leg
everywhere.
Yeah.
And arms and hands above the head.
Keeps the ball hidden, too, so that can be deceiving for batters that he goes up against. As we see the slow, big leg kick, he hides that ball, keeps it in his glove a long time, and a lot of times that makes it a sneaky velocity. He may not throw the hardest, but it comes off as little reaction time for those hitters. As we saw guys in the majors, a lot of the guys from Asia and the Japanese leagues have the big leg kick and they hide the ball and only throw the ball about 80 to 90 miles an hour, but batters can't get around on it because they don't see that ball, and we see Metakash doing that here.
Pumps in a strike. Joey Shapiro's first at bat. Came in as a defensive replacement for James Barry. Swings through that. 3 balls, 2 strikes on the third baseman. Really impressive if the Maples can put finishing touches on back-to-back shutout victories.
At the tune of a 19-0 clip as well. That's alone in itself. 19 Steve Eiserman's home, by the way. Just had to throw that out there.
Pretty apropos, huh?
Had to say it. Been excited all week.
Shapiro asks for time and is granted it. Big wide stance, knees bent. Kind of hunched over, almost like a Bagwell stance.
Good old Jeff.
And he'll take that walk. Take his 90 feet down to first base. I'll bring up Alex Nader. Nader hit by a pitch and walked.
Keeping that on base percentage high.
So no at bats, a couple plate appearances. Coach Morrison remarking to our very own Andy Aubrey that in his mind walks are sexy, and they have gained their fair share of walks this game. 8 now, in fact, have been issued by Seaholm pitchers.
Speaking of Seaholm pitchers, they both same hairstyle. I don't know
Got
if
the
that's,
flow coming out of the hat.
I don't know if that's a prereq. You want to pitch on this team, you got to have some flow. Blowing in a breeze, it's actually blowing in our face right now.
Yeah, temperature has dropped. Sun continues to shine through some clouds. Perfect weather both days. These 3 games that are able to bring you the sounds and sights. Talented BACB Sports crew. His director was Dave Sommerfeld. Steve Rhoda, Greg Black, part of our production team as well. Take that one on the short hop, and they're going to get the force at second.
You almost got to wonder, that's similar to an infield fly situation, even though it wasn't a fly ball. I believe Jimmy Love could have taken a step in and caught that, but nonetheless, it was a smart play to get the lead runner nonetheless, whether it wants to be an infield line, even though that's not a thing, but an infield fly, similar play. It's when you let the ball drop in, so the lead runner is then out, but definitely a line drive, so that's why the out stands at second base, and we're 1 out away from this one being over.
It'll be Harrison Cole. Last chance opportunities here for the Falcons on their home field. Runner takes off for second, pitch drills Cole. Lipsy now. Falcons not going to go away quietly, as they'll remove Cole for a courtesy runner. Turner again.
And we're getting to the meat of the order here.
Crazier things have happened. 2 outs. 2 runners on. Lipsy takes a pitch. So it evens up the count at 1 ball, 1 strike.
Similar to the last pitch, that one just caught the knees a little bit more.
Cash comes home with it. Runner takes off for third. Throw on the money, and they got him. They cut down Alex Nader trying to swipe third, and it's back-to-back shutouts for the Seaholm Maples as they take game 3 of this 3-game series. Final score, 9-0. Nick, your thoughts on today's ball game?
What a way to end the game, and a caught stealing, a perfect throw from Lucas Simmons down to his third baseman, Liam Goff. Liam, 4 hits, all pretty much on the infield except for 1, but they're applying the tag to get that caught stealing to end it, and really an exclamation mark on a 9-0 offensive explosion from the Seaholm Maples as they improve their record to 8-2 now on the season, and more importantly, 3-0 against their arch rival, the Groves Falcons.
Falcons fall to 6-7 on the season, 0-3 in league play. So we'll take one final break here on BACB Sports, but when we come back, our player of the game interview. It's one you're not going to want to miss.
Selfie. Nailed it.
Welcome back one final time to Beverly Hills, Michigan, and Birmingham Groves High School. Brad Fetters as the Seaholm Maples come in and take one. 9-0 your final score. Back-to-back shutouts for the Seaholm pitching staff as they complete the 3-game series sweep of their arch rivals, the Groves Falcons. Our very own Nick Buckler is now alongside player of the game, Scotty Clippert.
Thanks, Brad. Down here with BACB Sports player of the game, pitcher Scotty Clippert. Scotty, really impressive outing today, really stymied their offense. 6 innings pitched, only 2 hits allowed, picked up a couple strikeouts. Struggled with the strike zone a little bit, 7 walks, but nonetheless, none of them came across to score. Kind of talk about how you controlled this one.
I just kind of trusted my defense and just fought through the zone. Kind of just did my own thing. Through the strikes, they hit the ball. My defense felled the ball, and they threw it.
Yeah, they did. They really did that. First time you guys have swept Groves in quite a while. What does that mean to you in this rival?
It's really gets us going because we have a long week ahead of us. Sets the tone for the season. We haven't beaten them in a while, so it feels good. So it's nice to finally beat them.
And now what do you guys do to look forward to the rest of this season, try to finish on a high note?
We're going to get ready for districts and go from there.
Scotty, congratulations. Good job on the win and impressive sweep.
Thank you.
Yep. Scotty Clippert, player of the game. Brad, back up to you.
Congratulations to Scotty Clippert. Goes 6 innings, gives up only 2 hits while striking out 2 Falcons. He is our BACB Sports player of the game as Seaholm improves to 8-2. Groves falls to 6-7. What an outstanding offensive performance by the Maples in the 3 games of this 3-game series as they end up scoring 22 straight runs as they come up with the 10-0 Mercy victory in Game 2 of the doubleheader. Come back today with a 9-0 blanking of the Groves Falcons. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank my broadcast partner, Nick Buckler, and our director today, Dave Sommerfeld. For the rest of our hardworking BACB Sports crew, I'm Brad Fetter saying goodnight from Groves High School. Once again, final score, Seaholm 9, Groves 0.